Hello lovely humans, my name is Marvin, and if you're anything like me, you should seek therapy. I personally believe that they make some of the most creative, accessible, and fun video games in the whole industry. I wish they were like that with everything. And I want you to take a wild guess at just how many Nintendo games there are, specifically between the years 1983 and 2024 as of writing this. This number took me several days to research, but I'm going to give you a few seconds to guess. Wrong! No, that's not a typo. That is how many games Nintendo has published at some point in the past 40-ish years. Look, here they all are. I put them all into a spreadsheet. I'm making myself play all of these. Why am I doing this? But seriously, good luck to Shmoo for being willing to take this idea further than I'm willing to, cause, again. 3. I won't be covering the individual Game & Watch LCD games cause, honestly, what am I gonna say about each individual game? Toss-up, juggle balls, Flagman, raise the correct numbered flag, Exterminator, bonk the moles, Judge, bonk the person. Like, there really isn't much to say about each one. 7. I'll finish playing the game when I've either played for a maximum of 10 hours or feel like I've seen everything the game has to offer, whichever comes first. If I don't do this, I'm pretty sure I'll only finish this series by 2050. I mean, while in North America at least, the video game industry was being buried under a New Mexico landfill, at least over in Japan, Nintendo was doing better. That isn't saying a lot, cause compared to the West, which was at rock bottom, Nintendo was basically at rock middle. Nintendo was also trying to market the console to American retailers around this time as the Advanced Video System, and this thing would have been crazy. It was gonna come with a computer keyboard, wireless controllers, a light gun, a music keyboard. This thing probably could have done your laundry too, but I don't think there's any confirmation on that. Today we're gonna talk about games they published in 1985, aka the year that they were finally gonna release the Famicom in North America. In fact, when my mom and my stepdad upgraded to a flat panel, they took the CRT from the living room and put it in my brother's room, and that's what I played systems like PlayStation 2 and Wii on, and it was pretty good. But back in Japan, Nintendo released a major add-on for the Famicom, a big brick that the console actually sat on top of called the Disk System. Yeah, Nintendo and Sega's rivalry started even before the Super Nintendo and Genesis, and guess what? Even then, Sega was only able to play second fiddle. I'm sorry to any Sega fans that may be watching this, I'm only saying the facts. Remember, the video game industry was on life support at this point. No one was willing to give it a chance. And they avoided any and all video game terms when associating the product. This isn't a cartridge, it's a game pack. Completely different, trust me. You can trust me, right? What I had to do was I had to buy this. A package from Amazon. Wow. Alright, just gotta pick my team, and I think I'm gonna go with Team R, cause R is a nice letter. Many great words start with R, like rash. Alright, next up is Donkey Kong, the game that pulled Nintendo out of the gutter. All thanks to a big monkey. Apparently, Big Monkey had a spawn because he's the namesake and protagonist of the next game we're playing, Donkey Kong Jr., or as I like to call him, Little Monkey. Oh, son, thank you for saving me from that dastardly human.
No problem, Dad. I think as a reward, you should make me and my twin brother that we never talk about do constant math problems for today.
Oh. You think you can get out of math that easily? Seriously, I played against the easiest computer. And I played for 5 rounds, and in all of them I had my ass handed to me. So now Mario finally gets his own game with Mario Bros. This time Mario had another career change. First he was a carpenter, then an animal tamer, and now a plumber. Geez, his resume is almost as diverse as that of Johnny Sins. And do you remember that shitty Popeye game that was on the Switch eShop a few years ago? Yeah, apparently this is the basis for it, so my hopes are high going in. Did Miyamoto have a crush on Popeye or something? Why are there so many possible games based off of him? And yes, we did briefly talk about a Mahjong game in the last video, but that one only lets you play against 1 computer player, while this one lets you play against up to 3. Ooh. Basically, at the start of each level, you're placed down on a grid, and you just have to pick a direction and Bubbles just races off. She ain't stopping for anybody, not even the walls. Now we have Devil World, which seems to be one of the first instances in Nintendo releasing a game everywhere except for North America. This is because the game contains religious imagery, and Nintendo of America considered that a big no-no on their turf. But I don't know, man, they could have localized the game and replaced the imagery with something else, like a croissant. Neither Mario nor Little Monkey are anywhere to be seen. Instead, in the protagonist role, we got everyone's favorite character from the Game & Watch game Greenhouse. It's Stanley the Bugman! Wait, this game was really divisive and ended up being Stanley's last major appearance outside of cameos? Aww. And I don't know about you, but I currently can't afford an NES, NES Zapper, SNES, Super Scope, all the Lightgun games Nintendo's published, a CRT TV to play them on cause the Lightguns only work on those, extra aux cables, an aux to HDMI converter, an HDMI to aux converter, an HDMI cable, and a capture card. Now that I'm finished with duck hunting, it's time for me to ride my dirt bike in the Excitebike, boy! Whoa, okay, let's not do that again, cause I was feeling the sudden urge to be racist. The whole game's already in English! They could have easily just put the ROM on an NES card and shipped it over here. I mean, what do you want me to say about it? It's I think it might be because of how much black is on screen in these modes, and Lightgun just wasn't agreeing with that. Like, Duck Hunt, very little black, works fine. The first mode of Hogan's Alley, little black, works fine. These other two modes, too much black, doesn't want to work. Maybe we should cancel the Sinden Lightgun on Twitter or something, because it's clearly being racist. Going into this lane will start a roulette wheel, and you have to hit this when it's above a slot to stop it. Getting matching numbers gives you points. I never got matching points. Okay, from my observations, it seems like the different difficulties change how fast the ball flies, and I think on the highest one it goes way too fast. Like, how the hell am I supposed to react to that? Then again, I suppose that's how fast it goes in real life, and that just goes to show that, both in the real world and the virtual one, I'm just terrible at sports in general. You're a punk fighting against either another human punk or a computer punk, and your entire goal is to punch the other punk until you punch him off the pavement 3 times. Once you do that, you win, and then move on to finding an identical looking punk, with which you repeat the process. The first 2 modes are all about the quick draw. 1 or 2 bandits will walk onto the screen, and when they say, you just gotta shoot them before they shoot you. And make sure you're actually quick about it, cause your window is pretty tight, and it gets tighter as you go along. Oh, get your mind out of there. The game is called 10-Yard Fight, and basically it's football. American football. And yeah, that's what this game is. Except, unlike the real sport, you're less likely to get a concussion from it. That doesn't mean your chances are 0, though. I don't know if you know, but the first rule of Balloon Fight Club is that you don't talk about Balloon Fight Club. So let's not. Nah, I'm joking with ya. But seriously, like I said before, Nintendo initially advertised the NES as a toy in the West, and Rob was a big part of it. He was the little robot that could help Nintendo make a shitload of money. I see another game on the horizon. Get it? Icy? Because we're playing Ice Climber? So, can you guess what you do in this game? That's right, you climb mountains! Apparently, at some point in the past, everybody was Kung Fu fighting, and I wasn't way aware of this, so it's time to rectify that by playing Kung Fu. Time to put the pedal to the metal in Muck Rider, and this is where we see Nintendo going hardcore. The whole game is set in an apocalyptic future where the forces of evil have invaded, which I assume are aliens of some sort. Wow, would you look at that? It's yet another early Nintendo sports game, this time being soccer, or football if you want to get European about this. Okay, now it's time for the second R.O.B game of 2, Stack Up, or Robot Block. Seriously, Nintendo, the F1 racing was a bit. I mean, what is there to say? God damn it, we did this joke already! So, for our last game, Mario goes back to the real world and becomes a demolition worker and wrecking crew. And geez, of all these jobs, you think he's showing off or something. Oh, I'm a master of all the trades, I'm master of all. Like, we get it, dude, you don't need to damage my self-esteem further. Oh, putting that aside, this is a puzzle game themed around, if you couldn't guess, demolition. Okay, so I have the package, thankfully not showing my personal information, and I have some sort of Swiss Army butterfly knife thing that I'm going to open it with. Not with that thing. Here we go, this should do it. The plot is that Stevenson, the titular detective, has had his daughter kidnapped by the local mafia boss, King Dom, who requests that he bring him 5 Black Panther diamonds within 24 hours if he ever wants to see her again. And instead of cooperating with the police or something, Stevenson just goes, "Fuck it, time to go mining," and off he goes to find some diamonds. Okay, looks like I have to press L1 on my controller. Let's do that, and Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I keep pressing L1, but this message keeps popping up. Well, when all else fails, randomly mash buttons! Oh! Hey! I don't know what I did, but who cares? Okay, time to wind down with a nice relaxing game of pro wrestling. A whole lot of things have eyes now. The trees, the mushrooms, the bushes, the clouds, and they're always watching. Nowhere is safe. Who doesn't know what The Legend of Zelda is? I mean, it's right up there with Mario as one of Nintendo's most recognizable franchises. Almost every major release is a critical darling. Middle-aged men wear this series on their chest for a reason. And that's every Nintendo game from 1986. And what the hell happened? We were on such good streak in terms of years. By one, but still. Okay, second attempt. There we go. Let's hit it out of the ballpark. If I somehow lose this game, I'm gonna be very upset. It also has a lot of firsts as well. It's the debut of, like, the most recognizable video game character ever made. It was the pioneer of the platformer genre, and it was one of the earliest video games to insinuate that women need a man to save them. I forgot to mention this, but in the last game, Mario was officially designated as a carpenter, and at some point in between games, he made a career change to an animal tamer and captured Big Monkey. I will give Nintendo credit though, they finally did a multiplayer mode where both players are on screen at once. But why did it have to be with a math game? Now I know I said a moment ago that I liked doing brain teasers, but I'm personally no good at game theory. No, not that game theory. I mean, I'm no good at strategizing, thinking ahead. Which is weird because I have social anxiety. I'm always thinking ahead in the worst ways possible. This time, he's down in the sewers of New York to get rid of some pests, such as turtles, angry crabs, and man-sized gnats. Remind me to never go to New York.
Yeah, get back here, you bastard. You're gonna get what's coming to you.
I can't do that. Rock-a-bye baby on the pole. If Popeye fucks up, the baby will die. Why are you all smiling? That just makes me angrier! Once you're right next to one, just push the D-pad in the direction of said pole and she'll keep spinning right round, baby, right round, till you let go of the D-pad. Firstly, I don't remember Pac-Man needing the power of Jesus to defeat his enemies. I could see why Nintendo kept you locked up for a decade.
Okay.
So you know what I did? I bought this. I mean, it is kinda limited, you're not gonna make any masterpieces with this, but hey, the option is still nice, and I'm still gonna make something stupid out of it. Behold, my custom track! I call it Hilly McHill Hills. Basically, to start, you choose your skill level and the game will give you 5 tracks to race through, and you, well, drive. Look, the game works now. It wasn't because the gun was racist. I'm sorry for trying to cancel you, Sinden Lightgun. Can you ever forgive me? And finally, getting the ball into this hole takes you to a bonus game with Mario! And in the words of Reggie, my body is ready, Fisame. If it's not fun, it, give it a D. And you know what, Mr. Reggie? You're right. I'm gonna do just that. Now go back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on your Nintendo 3DS. Thank you very much. You have a light and heavy attack which can be aimed high or low, but not too low. That's just disrespectful. And that's all there is to Wild Gunman. And even though there isn't too much to this one like Duck Hunt or Hogan's Alley, I'd still say it's pretty good. Certainly not bad or ugly. I mean, I did get my ass beat by the high school difficulty, but that's just because I wasn't used to the controls and mechanics, so shut up! Once I was in the Super Bowl difficulty, I really didn't have much trouble. Maybe that means I'm ready to be put on an actual team. Put me on, coach!
Who gets by one?
And it can also pop your balloons too. And if they're both popped, you immediately lose a life because I guess you forgot your parachute at home. Oh, but wait! There's a bunch of red and blue pipes in your way, and you're unable to jump, so how will you get past them? Well, with the help of R.O.B, of course. R.O.B? Okay, so I don't have R.O.B, but honestly, even if I did have him, which isn't cheap, he uses the same sensors as the NES Zapper, so I can't use him on my LCD TV, so I'd have to then buy CRT-TV, the 2 R.O.B games, and a bunch of other stuff that I talked about in my last video that I won't cover again here, but suffice to say, it will cost me a pretty penny. And we don't even have pennies here in Canada. Once you're halfway up, you'll start the bonus game, where you only have 40 seconds to finish your ascent, collecting any vegetables along the way, and reach the pterodactyl at the top. You know, I should really stop questioning Nintendo's decisions. I mean, they're f***ing Japanese. Anyway, the game sees you climbing a 5-story tower in order to reach the top, clearing out any goons along the way. And no, not that type of goon. You're always told in the top left of the screen how far you are from the end, so you better go! To start, you get to choose from one of 7 teams: USA, Gibber, Bra, Fur, Bra, Jippin, and S. Now you're probably wondering how I simulate this without R.O.B. Hey guys, Eddie and Marvin here. So in the next sentence I talk about how I use containers on a sheet of paper to pretend to be R.O.B and stack up. However, I recently moved house and don't have those items anymore, so instead of doing a live action demonstration, I'm just going to use objects I found on Google Images and move them around in Canva or something. This probably wouldn't have been a problem if I had just recorded or required footage beforehand, but I can't use the excuse that I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, because I'm not. I used to make videos on here as a cringy preteen, and I'm super thankful to myself that I used copyright tracks in those videos, and YouTube took that channel down so none of you can find it. Well, I replaced the blocks with these small food containers. I didn't have a white one, so I substituted it for purple, and I drew 5 trays on a white piece of paper, and, just like last time, I pretended to be R.O.B and slowly moved the blocks around. And now that's out of the way, let's see how I stack up in this game.
Oh, brother!
So while I won't go into detail about some things you probably already know, like the characters, enemies, and the gameplay loop, I will talk about some of the innovations it brought to the platformer genre. Like, for one, you can influence your jump in mid-air. Holy f***ing Luya! You can't jump though, cause apparently the hammer's too heavy, and that's just stupid. You're telling me the same fat man that could spin a giant turtle and throw it across an arena can't jump while holding a measly hammer? I guess he got some gains in the 11 years between games. Moment of truth. Let's see what happens. I think if I do the video one first, which is the yellow one, it'll just bring the sequel. Oh! That's funky. Look at that. Funky. Alright, let's actually plug it right in. Oh! We got something. So, another question for you. What do you think this game is like? Because the first 2 things that came to my mind were Super Mario Run and Flappy Bird. Weird combination, I know, but stick with me for a sec. So like I said before, it just plunks into the first level, but apparently the plot is an alien, what else, takes over a statue in the titular castle, and takes over said castle along with 4 neighboring castles. You, as a samurai apprentice named Takamaru, who's now named Marvin and will go down as the greatest samurai who ever lived, is sent to infiltrate the castle. So, let's see what fighters we have to work with. Fighter Hayabusa from Japan, okay, nice. Starman from Mexico? Why the question mark? I'm not gonna say that because I feel like I'll be cancelled if I do. Giant Panther from the US, okay, nothing wrong here. Seaman, what the fuck? And King Slender. Since when did Slender Man become royalty? You can play as Loogy. He was in the first game, but he was stuck as the second player. The sequel just guts the multiplayer, but not Loogy, thankfully. He's too precious for that. Hey, check it out. Loogy's the first in the game because he's an epic gamer. The only 2 things I like about this game is, firstly, why does it look like the players are constantly twerking? And what the hell are they doing to that ball? Well, shit, didn't get a single point. Oh well, I'm not gonna let the D's get a single point. D's no. And yes, the NES version refers to him as Mario. He is named as such in the manual, and his life counter is represented by an M. So yeah, he's a Mario. Okay, stage 1, let's go! Are you okay, little monkey? You look way too happy to see me. Alright, guess I'll see what Calculate B has to offer. Negative 245? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, we start at negative 150, but still. So, unfortunately, since I didn't enjoy myself all that much...
Damn!
You do this not by jumping on them like you would in later Mario games, but by first jumping into them from underneath, and then you run into them to kick them to the curb. And, repeat after me now, you loop back to the beginning again, but this time it's incrementally harder. And what's added to make this harder? Oh, only a damn witch that drops moving skulls that want to eat you! Popeye be crazy, yo. Oh, and by the way, if you screw up even one of the 10 puzzles given to you, you get the bad ending, where I assume Olive gets together with Big Boy and Popeye contemplates jumping. There's only 5 levels, but each one can form one of 4 pictures, meaning there's 20 different pictures. You could get a ribbon, a butterfly, a mouse, or even a house made of gold. Every Minecraft player's dream next to being around middle school. Jesus may be able to save you from sin, but he can't save you from that. The game consists of rounds, and each round gives you 10 ducks to shoot with your gun. So it turns out that the game didn't, in fact, save my track. See, in order for cartridge-based games to be able to save in the first place, it needs a battery. Excitebike doesn't have one. And good dog you go, Zoomin. Freaking 400 kilometers an hour. I'm sure that'll make any Americans watching go. And of course, there are other things you must worry about, like the policeman. Every once in a while, they'll interrupt your fight by just driving by, and you have to wait them out. And if the timer runs out, they'll come and take you away. But not your opponent. They'll just leave him to celebrate. Maybe he's actually the son of the policeman. And also, what's with this strut one of the players does before you throw the ball? This isn't a runway, my guy. Well, when you're walking on the ground, it controls like you expect. But when you're flying around, it's, well, quite literally floaty. But be careful, because you can be squashed by the pipes, but so can the dinos. Just lure them over with these radishes, didn't know the dinos were vegan, and nice. Along the way, you'll run into cloud platforms that'll scroll by, icicles that fall from the ceiling, ice physics, oh dog, these blocks that act like treadmills, on a mountain. Well, after the 2nd and 4th floor, it's revealed that your name is Thomas, with no correlation to trains, and you're trying to rescue your girlfriend Sylvia, who's been captured by the evil Mr. X. You mean the trenchcoat-clad, fedora-wearing guy from Resident Evil? That bastard! Time to go after him and save your girl. And you'll need quick reaction to get around them, cause otherwise if you run right into an obstacle, you instantly burst into pieces. But then, if you have any lives or energy remain, Black Rider just forces himself back together and continues on his way. Damn, so badass. When you don't have the ball, you stiffly trundle about. And when you have the ball, it's weird, cause you can't turn until you reach the ball and kick it in the direction you want. But then the other eyesore is this spring motherfucker, who will hop in a line pressing buttons and depressing any you press. This can definitely be annoying if you're not paying attention, cause he can input random commands that'll not only slow you down, but probably also knock over blocks. Ah, screw you, you bitch. I hope you get tangled up and never spring properly ever again. Wait, why am I getting mad about this guy making Rob screw up? I don't even have Rob. But then how am I able to proceed through levels without him? You're probably wondering what magical way Rob communicates with the NES to get this whole thing to work. Well, he doesn't. At all. And let's also not forget that you now have a run button that allows you to jump farther and higher. Both of these things really give you a leg up, cause you use your legs to run and jump! Not only that, but there's also some enemies to deal with, like walking wrenches. They'll always try to get to you, and can climb ladders to do so, but they only turn around on ladders, so you can try and manipulate them to get around them. Then there's walking eggplants. Once again, Nintendo's ahead of the curve here, since most modern endless runners are controlled with just one finger, thumb. I'm not sure how you do that with a gun, but anyway. But do you think you can just walk into a castle taken over by an alien? No, stupid! First, you gotta travel to each of those 4 other castles I mentioned earlier. Then you gotta traverse to the back of them, kill their lords, steal their balls, and then you can go to Murasame Castle and kill the alien. Eventually, I won a match, and this is where I learned that this is the origin of the winner is you meme! Yes, the one from the mid-2000s, in a game officially developed and published by Nintendo! What?! Springs return. They were in the original, but they were pretty unremarkable. Here, some of them can send you to the stratosphere, which is pretty funny. Well, ran out of good things to say. It's time to bitch! This game takes place on a pretty sizable map, and there's secrets everywhere. Under this bush, under that bush, behind this wall, under this statue. Oh yeah, baby, home run! Yeah, that's right, pixelated crowd, give me your AOL cheers. There's things you need to avoid, like barrels thrown by Big Monkey, living fireballs? The ones on stage 3 look like peeps on fire. I also forgot to mention this for last game, but you can't change your direction in midair. Once you jump, you're as committed to it as a man is to his waifu. If you're correct, he flexes his guns, Big Monkey gives you points, and the Boyd will lay an egg next to the numbered equation you completed. And if you're wrong, you'll die. Not only do you have to commit to your jump arcs like in the previous games, but you basically have ice physics. Seriously, Mario slides all over the place like it's plumbers on ice. I know we're in the sewers, but the floors can't be that nasty. Oh, but I forgot to mention that the witch in Loop 2 Level 2 gets some kind of weird skin condition that she should seriously get checked out. Maybe she could see a witch doctor?
Oh no.
There's also invisible rubber walls that only appear once you bump into them, and literal black holes! I thought these were supposed to be whirlpools cause, you know, bubblefish, sea urchins were clearly underwater. It makes sense. But nope, apparently those are actual black holes. Someone call King Neptune!
My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's cause Jesus Christ is my
Ninja! With each duck, or pair of ducks, you only have 3 rounds. If you miss all 3 or take too long, they'll get away and your hunting dog will laugh at you. Why are you doing that? I'm your owner. We're supposed to be friends. And also there's of course other racers on the course, although you're not really racing against them. They're just obstacles that you have to swerve around. And make sure you do, because if you hit another racer, you instantly explode. Jesus Christ, Formula 1's metal is fuck. Yeah, apparently there is an end to this. But only after you defeat 45 opponents without a game over. That's 135 rounds of the most simplistic fighting game that feels stiffer than a tree. It's more like 2 trees. Seriously, it makes me want to do a little dance. So what I'm saying is, you have to mash a lot. A lot. And you know what that means? Repetitive strain injuries. And also, now I do have to thank Rob for helping to revitalize the video game industry. I probably wouldn't be where I am now without him. But also, fuck him, this game's getting a D rank. But then there's the polar bear guy, and he's able to make the screen shake so violently that it forces it to scroll before he just disappears. Each floor has you running down a really long hallway, with goons appearing ahead of and behind you, which are made up of standard guys that just want to give you a big smooch, knife-throwing guys that will keep their distance, and leprechauns that'll try to nibble your knees. Thankfully, you don't need weapons to deal with these guys, cause you are the weapon. You're probably wondering why I'm talking about energy or lives. Well, it's because for some reason, only the first track of this mode has the energy meter that depletes when you die, but then in every track after this, it switches to lives. I have no idea why Nintendo did this. So I think I'm just gonna give this one a very low C rank. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go down to the pub and have a pint with my mom while watching football on the telly. Cheerio! And finally, there's the fact that this game has an actual ending. Not, oh, you beat the final level you created? Well, we're taking it back to the start, bitch! Like, you get to the final level, set a giant turtle on fire, save the girl it kidnapped, which hopefully won't be a recurrent event, and you get some text before it boots you to the title screen. It's not much, but it's something. Welcome to Ladder Central, where you got ladders for all your laddering needs. Excuse me, sir, would you be interested in a ladder by chance? Wait, what are you doing with that hammer? No, don't go near the bomb! No! What have you done? I spent my life savings on this business! What do you have to say for yourself?
Hey, I'm hungry. Have you got any food?
No, I can barely afford water, you Italian piece of sh**! So, now that's settled. Wrecking Crew verdict. You only have a limited number of bullets, but you can get more by making Stevenson run or jump into balloons, which is all fine and dandy until they end up floating to the atmosphere and something pops them and it literally starts raining bullets! This is a top-down adventure game where you go from screen to screen, which, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting some weird deja vu out of this. Have I seen this type of game somewhere before? I'm sure it'll come back to me. Anyways, whew. Well, anyway, my next match was against Mr. Ethnic Stereotype, and this match went horribly. Well, this game was designed as if it just kept going and getting even harder. So as you might expect, the first world is hard, and as it goes along it gets harder and harder until it gets so hard and you're dying from bullshit so often that you just wanna scream into a pillow. Don't break your controllers, they're pretty expensive to replace nowadays. Speaking of dungeons, they're a staple that's been here since the very beginning, and they're not the only thing. There's the most iconic characters including Link, Zelda, Impa in the manual, but she's not hot yet so who cares, Ganon, but he's not hot yet so who cares, and there's also all the iconic enemies. Come on guys, what are you doing? Get the ball, come on! Again, you can't control these guys, so you're just left in the hands of the baseball gods. Yes, this was before it was common knowledge that platformers shouldn't have fall damage. Even a 6-foot drop will kill Mario, making him more fragile than gamers when a woman is moderately dressed. One difference from the last game is a change to the climbing mechanics, as Little Monkey can climb up chains, ropes, and vines. Also, if you seriously can't figure out what the answer is, you can just push this key into the keyhole and not get any points. Remember, this is the 80s. Participation trophies didn't exist yet. And when there's one last enemy in each phase, they suddenly remember they have a bag of cocaine in their back pocket and take a quick sniff. And the added difficulty this time is that you can flip the ingots back over. And good dog, thinking about how you're supposed to flip them all over without leaving any flips back over hurts my little puggy brain. Well, maybe I just need a change of pace. Let's go after some clay pigeons. Hold on a second. Those aren't pigeons. Wait, so you don't have to mash? You can just hold the B button to fly around? Oh, thank dog, my thumb is saved! Yeah, 32 unique levels. Nintendo's finally starting to fill out these cartridges, game packs with content. It's great. And when multiple of them are grouped together and you defeat 2 or 3 with one kick, oh!
So good.
Thankfully, you aren't completely defenseless. I already mentioned that you can force aliens to crash, but they're also packing heat. Like I said earlier, the NES's initial limited release in 85 came with R.O.B in the deluxe set, but with the full release in 86, they axed that bundle and created a new one with, as you probably could have guessed, Super Mario Bros. And the second bit of challenge is the absolute barrage of bullshit that comes at you from all sides with little chance to react! I mean, it's goddamn ridiculous how much garbage is thrown at you. Bottles, cards, boids, rocks, planes, fish, sharks, jellyfish, more boids, sea urchins, bombs, giant grasshoppers, bees, rhinos, goddamn Gamera! And this alien must be scared of me, as he should be. That means he's sending a whole army after me. Various ninjas, other samurai, boyd men, and there could be a bunch of them on screen at a time, throwing stars and bombs and fireballs and tornadoes. And all you have to fight back is a katana for those that get close and an infinite amount of throwing knives. Where the hell is he keeping all of those? I lost because I was outside the ring for too long. That's fine. I was allowed to do one more match, this time against Giant Panther, and it kinda went the same way. There's a whole lot of jumping over pits, and there's some instances of using springs to cross them. A lot of them were optional in the original, but not here! And what makes them worse is that you're required to press A at the right time to get the most airtime, but the window is so tight that most of the time you'll just pathetically hop into your demise. Oh, but you'll definitely need a map for the final dungeon. Look at this place! It's a goddamn maze, with secret staircases you need to go down that'll throw you all over the place, and a specific item you need to defeat Ganon, otherwise you're fucked right at the end. So, when you finish stage 3, Big Monkey fall down, Mario and Pauline are finally reunited, and it's all very cute. But then it loops you back to the beginning. He's pretty slow just climbing up one of these, but you're able to reach over to another one and use them both to climb up faster. You do have a special power-up right down here to help you though, the Pow Block. It just makes me wonder why Nintendo even has mashing as an option in the first place. Maybe it's for masochists? I got to level 36 myself, but not all in one go, and oh boy, look at the time! It's time to get negative! This game is hard as balls, man. And not tennis balls, more like wrecking balls. Several. Now I really want to play with some tennis balls. And finally, there's Mr. X himself. At least I assume it's him. He's not wearing a trench coat or fedora, and he's certainly not as menacing. Check it out. Seriously, how did Sylvia get kidnapped by him? Yeah, this game also has some old school difficulty, compounded by the fact that if you lose all your lives or energy, it's game over and you start at the beginning. And I thought that there was a continue cheat built into this game cause I looked it up, but it never seemed to work for me. So my guess is that you're probably lying to me, Dugon on Game Facts. Well, now that I've sucked this game's green pipe for roughly a minute and a half, let's start bitching! The jumping controls, for one, while pushing the genre forward, still weren't quite up to snuff. You'll probably die a whole lot since it's stiffer than the flagpole at the end of levels. At the end of the final level, by the way there's only 4 levels of this, thank dog, Stevenson gets a machine gun. Ho ho ho! Yeah, I'm getting my ass handed to me. And he was extra annoying cause he'd get right up in my face and deck me constantly, enough that eventually one punch would knock me down. Jeez! Actually, speaking of things being the same as the original, there's a whole lot of reused assets here. Mario and Loogy, the power-ups, the NPCs, the enemies, including the Hammer Bros that are just as bad here, and bloopers that are in the overworld levels. Why? Ah, crap. Wait, what are you doing? You're out. Oh, are you okay? Do we need to get in amber lamps? But anyway, that's Big Monkey the game. I don't think I like this one as much as the original Donkey Kong. At least in that one, the simplicity helps it and makes it pretty replayable. But with this one, I'm not as much of a fan of the controls and level design, and it can lead to... And there's also a 2-player option for these modes, which featured a series introduction of Loogy, my beloved. You have a vertical jump that would make LeBron James jealous, but barely any horizontal distance, making for some pitiful jump arcs. The momentum for your jumps is weird too, especially on the treadmill-like blocks. If this guy entered the long jump in the Olympics, he'd probably only go like 5 feet. Although, just like with the fighting course, each track will also put more obstacles on the road, and, in the endurance mode at least, you also have the aliens to deal with. Oh, and speaking of the final world, it contains one of the water sections in this game. I'm pretty sure this is one of the earliest examples of them being in games, and Nintendo's already setting the precedent of them being the absolute worst. Just a whole lot of clunk, and the last one has fire bars that said clunky controls kept making me screw up on. Tony was right. Wata in Tafaya. Why? And when you beat him, you get constant flashing lights across the whole screen as the monster dies. Jesus Christ! There's no indication of where an item is hidden, so how else are you supposed to find them naturally than by shooting randomly? Until I was face to face with the champion, King Slender, where I did the exact same thing and won the championship title! I did it! I'm the ultimate cheese champion! And the wind! The wind in this game can quite literally blow me! Nice. But apparently you can push each other around, which could lead to some funny setups. I sure wish I had some friends to play this with, though. But it had me thinking about how this was probably all intentional in order to represent the actual dangers of mountain climbing. The frigid cold, the slippery ice, the dangerous wildlife, and how, at any moment, you could slip up and fall to your doom. Plus, how you need patience, careful planning, and improvisation in order to avoid that fate and successfully reach the top, and realize that you're on top of the world. Doesn't make it fun, though. But despite all that, I was still able to make something kinda stupid. Just a bunch of straightaways with few turns to form 2 canes and a weird looking wrench. I'm not giving a name to this one because I know the game won't save it, and I'm not gonna put down another loved one. So without that in mind, I'd probably give this a B, but with that in consideration, for me at least, it's getting a very high A rank. It's kinda like your grandma. It may not have aged well, but you still love it all the same. And once I got the title, I was tasked with beating all the opponents over and over again in order to defend my title. But nobody could stand against me and my soon-to-be patented kicker-upper technique. So I kept winning over and over and over and over again until I turned the game off because I was getting bored of winning. But unfortunately, it wasn't a perfect streak. I technically didn't win one of my matches, and it's all because of Starman, this Patrick Star dressed as Bongo Boy looking ass. I swear, in these layer matches, he had the stamina of an Olympian dog. I'd still say you're better off playing the latest WWE game, assuming it isn't a broken mess. Oh well, at least it can't be as bad as this going forward, right? Hello lovely humans, my name is Marvin, and thank you for watching my favorite moments from 2024. And I also want to say, thank you for an awesome first year of content on this channel. I'm personally surprised almost 200 of you decided to hit that silly subscribe button on my channel specifically, and I really am grateful that you guys enjoy my content. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys more in the future. And if you aren't subscribed and you liked what you just saw, why don't you hit the button right now? Come on. You know you want to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much all the sappy stuff I wanted to say, but before you go, you could probably guess that I talk about Nintendo on this channel a lot. As such, I said the word Nintendo a lot. Are you curious how many times I've said it? You're not? Well, let's find out anyway. Start the counter. Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, Nintendo's, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo, Nintendo's, 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 Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, 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 Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo's, 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 Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo, Nintendo's, 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 Nintendo, Nintendo's, Nintendo, Nintendo's, 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 Nintendo, 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 Nintendo. Wow, that's a lot of Nintendos, and here's to even more in 2025. Oh, but one more thing before I finish for realsies, I actually have one last video for you guys that I made as a sort of meme. You won't find it on my channel, but it is in the description if you're interested. And for realsies now, I'm done. I'm not gonna bother with my usual outro. I'm just gonna go hide in the basement before the fireworks start, and I'll see you in the new year. Peace!